Lesson 22, Adding Sessions and Flash Messages. In this lesson, you clean up the flow between CRUD functions by passing messages between pages to find out whether the save operations were successful or certain types of errors occurred. Currently, error messages are logged to the console, and users of the application have no way to know what they could do differently. You use sessions and cookies alongside the Connect Flash package to deliver these messages to your views. By the end of the lesson, you'll have an application that gives you a visual description of the success or failure of operations. This lesson covers setting up sessions and cookies, creating flash messages in your controller actions, setting up validation middleware on incoming data. Flash messages are semi-permanent data used to display information to users of an application. These messages originate in application server and travel to your user's browser as part of a session. Sessions contain data about the most recent interaction between a user and the application, such as the current logged in user, length of time before a page times out, or messages intended to be displayed once. You have many ways to incorporate flash messages into your application. In this lesson, you use the Connect Flash middleware module by tapping npm connect flash in terminal to install its package to your application as a dependency. Now you need to install two more packages by running npm install cookie parser express session in terminal. Then require these three modules in your main.js file along with some code to use the modules. So we have required express session, cookie parser, and connect flash, and they have been installed as dependencies. Adding flash messages to controller actions. To get flash messages working, you need to attach them to the request made before you render a view to the user. Generally, when a user makes a GET request for a page, say to load the home page, you need to send a flash message. Flash messages are most useful when you want to notify the user of a successful or failed request, usually involving the database. On these requests, such as for user creation, you are typically redirecting to another page depending on the outcome. If a user is created, you redirect to the user's route. Otherwise, you can redirect to the user /new. A flash message is no different from a local variable being made available to the view. For that reason, you need to set up another middleware configuration for Express to treat your connect messages like a local variable on the response. By adding this middleware function, you are telling Express to pass a local object called flash messages to the view. The value of that object is equal to the flash messages you create with the connect flash module. In this process, you are transferring the messages from the request object to the response. With this middleware in place, you can add messages to request.flash at the controller level and access the messages in the view through flash messages. Next, add a flash message to the create action in your user controller by changing the actions code to match listing 22.4. This next listing refers to a function called getUserParams, which makes referencing all the user params easier later. Add the code in the following listing to the top of userController.js in order to call getUserParams function in this file. Sorry. getUserParams has been added here, where it will return the first name, the last name, the email, password, and zip code of the user. In this action, you are modifying the way that you handle errors in the catch block. Instead of passing the error to the error handler action, set the error flash message and allow the redirect view action to display the user's new.ejs page again. The first flash message is of type success and delivers the message that the user's account was created. The flash message delivered when the account isn't created is of type error. So with create, we have the request, we have a request and response, and then we have a variable user params that get user params where user.create, we pass it the user params. Then when the user is created successfully, a flash that is saved in the request will pop up as success, and the user's full name, their name and the surname, name and last name will pop up, and it will be user whoever's account is created successfully, and then it will redirect to /user. And then if not, it will catch the error and console log error saving user. And then redirect, if there's an error, it will redirect to users /new, where the error, the message that will display as failed to create user's account because of whatever reason or whatever error. As soon as the page is redirected to users or users /new, your flash message is available to the view. The last step in getting flash messages working is adding some code to the view to receive and display the messages. Because you want every view to show potential success or failures, add the code in listing 22.5 to layout.ejs. You may also want to add custom styles in your public /CSS folder so that the messages can be differentiated from the normal view content. First, check whether any flash messages exist. If success messages exist, display the success message in a div. If error messages exist, display those messages with a different style class. So here it will look if there's a flash message, message. If the flash message is a success, it will display the success message, and then if the flash message is an error, it will display the flash error. Test this new code to display flash messages by starting the Node.js application, visiting users.new. Okay. And then, so here the new user was created. If you try to create a new user with an existing email address, your redirect screen should resemble Figure 22.2. So let's create a user with the same email address. Here's the flash message where it will say failed to create user account because, and then duplicate key error collection. If you need to show a flash message on a view you're rendering, pass the message directly as a local variable. The next listing shows how to add a success message to the user index page. When you pass the flash message object directly to the view, you don't need to wait for a redirect or use connect flash. So here we render the response on the index page where the flash we call the flash message success. So when it's a success, when it checks if there's a it checks if there's a flash message, and then from the flash message it checks if there's a success, and then if it's a success, it will display a loaded all users. So if we go to the index page, here it says loaded all users. So in this lesson you learned about sessions and cookies and saw why they're integral parts of how data is transferred between the server and client. You also set up Connect Flash to use cookies and temporarily show success and failures on certain views. In lesson 23, you see how to encrypt more than cookie data by implementing encryption on user passwords. Sorry.